really good though.
I'm gonna look them up. That's really cool. Where did you see the ghost? You're just looking at him, but you might have seen him. His name's Richard. He used to be a firefighter here back in 1845. Can you guess way before you were born? 1986 is way before you were born, isn't it? 1995? Come on, keep giving me some more information. I can look it up on Google. Just saying. Before I don't know where you live, I'll have your phone number. I'll call you. Yeah, Cruz. It's the girl at the. It's the woman at the.
I'm sure you can look at it.
You don't want to use the appropriate way.
Yeah, I gotta stalk them on the internet.
They don't usually have Facebook pages.
No, they're
Until
not
they
allowed.
retire.
Yeah. Like David Christopher. I'm like, seriously. I have a friend that's Baptist. I'm like, seriously, David Christopher. Like, you don't think somebody's gonna figure that out? It's in the middle lane. We can get a little more original than that. They look like they have headaches. They'll put in some Tylenol. Yeah, they're all. There's one definitely where somebody had something. You should have shared it at least. Are they litter? Is it serious litter? He goes like this.
I heard day-to-day enough.
Well, who's this shoe bottle for water? What's that water bottle there, buddy?
Thank you all for your patience. Can I have a motion to come out of closed session?
I'll make a motion to come out of closed session.
Can I have a roll call for that, please? Commissioner Loach?
Yes.
Mr. Shepherd?
Yes.
Commissioner Gaskell?
Yes.
Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Chairman Foster?
Yes.
Whoa, let me try that one more time. Resolution 2025-010, resolution appointing a Director of Fire Services, Jason Carty. Can I have a roll call, please? A motion.
I make a motion to amend, I'm sorry, I apologize. That has to happen first, right?
Right now, the chair's called for a motion. I don't know that anyone's made a motion yet.
Okay. I'll make that motion.
Can I have a roll call? Commissioner Lowe?
I need clarity. Is this motion, resolution number 10 will have, we are now doing what?
There was a motion for resolution 2025-010, a resolution appointing a Director of Fire Services with the named person being Jason Carty.
Okay,
And there was a motion and a second.
okay.
Already they're going out.
That's the ghost I told you about.
I'd like to make a motion to amend.
Ghosts are saying no.
Well, there was a motion and a second, so we should have a vote on the motion.
On introducing the motion with that name on it, is that correct?
Well, yeah, but there was a motion and a second on.
Okay.
All right, a motion on a second appointing the Director of Fire Services.
We can't hear back here. Can you use the microphone?
There was a motion with a first and a second for a resolution appointing the Director of Fire Services.
With
Can I have a roll call?
Jason Carter.
Well, no, we've not named anyone yet.
No, I did. I said it when I originally said
Well,
it.
we haven't taken a vote on that part,
No,
right?
that's what I was.
So the motion was made to appoint a director of fire services, Jason Carter. That's what the motion is.
I thought we were taking a straw poll and then we needed to take a poll.
That's done with the.
I apologize. Thank you all for your patience.
So there was a motion made, it was seconded, this is the official vote now.
Great.
There was a motion, it's a second, there needs to be a vote.
Okay.
Commissioner Lowe?
No.
Commissioner Shepherd?
No.
Commissioner Gaskell?
Yes.
Commissioner Brown? Yes. Chairwoman Suster? Yes.
I make a motion to amend the motion on the floor.
Well, the motion carried.
This is not how this was explained. Okay.
Conflict of interest. June Gaskell.
Okay, now clearly I'm not following. That's okay, because I think the path was laid out, so.
We knew that that would be.
Okay, thank you.
Let me see the Gaskells. There's the correction.
Okay, motion carries.
One down.
Where's the fire company again? What is this street? Staying in solidarity.
So we have public comment now, right?
Is that normal?
Okay, we'll now open the floor for public comment on general fire service matters. The public comment portion of our meeting is to allow the public to bring to the board's attention their concerns or comments. The board will respect the public's time by refraining from any comments until the speaker is finished. It should be further noted that the public comment portion of our meeting is not structured as a question and answer session. If a member of the public has questions they seek answers to, an appointment can be made with the appropriate committee. We ask that the public state their full name and address for the record and keep their comments to 3 minutes. Thank you. First row, starting on this side of the room.
I'm gonna go first. My name's Timothy Fuller. I live at 3 Dover Road in West Hampton. 20-year member this month, last week, matter of fact, of this department. I want to read a little excerpt from the meeting minutes of the Relief Fire Company from 2005.
Can you speak in the microphone, please?
I'm going to read an excerpt from the meeting minutes of the Relief Fire Engine Company No. 1 from 2005. There was a motion made by Ralph Trout to dismiss, expel Jason Carty, seconded by Diana Zoll. He hasn't ran a fire call in the last 2 years. The vote was unanimous on the floor. 2007, after he was brought back in to run fire calls after consolidation, he was charged again for, I believe it was unbecoming of a member, trash talking members of firehouse. The charge committee met and came to the conclusion that Jason Carty will be expelled. Terry Matthews made a motion to expel Jason Carty as of April 2nd, 2007, seconded by Kevin Jimeno. The motion on the floor was unanimous, 18 people out of 23 voted for the expulsion. Terry Matthews made a motion that if Jason gets back to the firehouse to make no pending charges, seconded by Chucky Smith. That was forwarded to the Board of Fire Commissioners. And you guys even thought about hiring him. I was the one that brought the charges up on him. He just created a, pretty sure, a hostile work environment for me. Still a member. Thank you.
I'm sorry, what was the answer? Tim?
Thank you for your.
I would redirect you back to Terry Matthews and his position on that subject today.
What's that?
I would redirect you back to Mr. Matthews and his position on that subject today.
It's already, that was brought up in closed session. You heard it once.
Okay, I never rescinded my charges against Jason Carty. Whatever you're hearing from Terry was done illegally.
Thank you, Ted.
Before you voted.
Should have let us talk. Who's next?
Les Lewis, representing Levis Drive.
Stand in front of those charges if they.
I just want to give thanks to your EMT, Kim Young, for rescuing my mom in distress a couple of weeks ago, a couple of times. I appreciate it for helping my mom. She's recovering, she's still recovering, and I appreciate it for that time to come to my house in a difficult time. And the second is, Mr. Mayor, I mentioned, you think that it's going in the right direction?
Do I think it's going in the right direction?
Yeah.
If the
Your professional opinion.
if the recommendations of the 5-year plan that was presented are taken seriously by the board, absolutely.
And second question is, couldn't make the last meeting. That was the last time. Well, 3 hours and a half, manager never came to work. Now I'm right here. Second question is, the change of when you start up. Okay, let me rephrase it. The old version of the agenda item versus the new version. It should be the old version of the agenda item. It should be like that. No, it shouldn't be no competency, no play of anything. And my last comment is to the entire staff. I sent an email about 6 days ago. There was a program that American Water was giving out, especially to EMT, fire department, any organization. That's in New Jersey. Have you received that email? I did send it to the first list on the webpage.
I haven't had an opportunity.
With one above your email.
With my email?
Yeah, go to your webpage. There was a list. The one is on the top and with one above. That's an email that is a program. It can help a free program for the entire fire department EMT. The state of American Water was given out. You can still apply for it. Just look at the email, and I think it can help a lot. And I appreciate it for our guest, Gina from Leamington, for coming by. Thank you.
Louis, I got it online, and I'm gonna give it to Nicole and everyone else to look over.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Nick Sedano, 47 Garden Street. Who is the board's or the fire department's records custodian? Is that now Jason Carty?
Oh,
It is a service as a director, correct?
So he is also the records custodian?
We will.
Okay. Will? Like, is there a vote? Is that something that's going to take a while?
Just voted on the position.
Okay. Will that take a while? Like, when's he actually officially the records custodian?
Mr. Sedano, I'll redirect you back to the resolution that says that the conditions of this position have already been discussed with him and the contract has already been outlined for him. And that was at the pleasure of the Policies and Procedure Committee. So you could reach to either Commissioner Saucier, or excuse me, Chairwoman Saucier, or Commissioner Gaskell for details on when that will be implemented.
Does that include the records custodian? That's all I'm trying to find
No,
out.
when he signs his contract.
Thank you.
That's right. So, I'm new to all this, just so you all know. I come from a whole, Francis Morgan, 10th Babcock Lane, Willowboro, New Jersey. I'm new to all this. I just applied for fire police, but I need to know why you would elect an official who would debate something on Facebook. Aren't we all taught about public privacy and keeping things, and yet you get on Facebook and you debate somebody else about a picture? Like, if this is your fire commissioner, why would you have him on Facebook debating something? He shouldn't be debating anything. This is a private matter, and yet he's on Facebook. What does that tell you? Everything will be on Facebook. I'm just saying, I'm flabbergasted. I'm from Connecticut. I've never seen such a parliament like this be held the way it is. You guys are a disgrace. And you guys really need to take initiative and recognize that you're electing somebody who's going to willingly get on Facebook and debate somebody. If that was me on my job, I would be fired. So how is it that you're electing a public official to get on your Facebook page and debate one of your members that get out? And here's the other thing I want to just ask you. Are any of you part of the fire department? Have any of you have loved ones on the fire department? Because let me ask you this. I'm new to all this, but I gotta tell you, every minute that my fiance gets up and answers a freaking call, I'm worried about his life. And I'm a nurse, okay? I worry about what's going on and who's protecting him. And right now, I don't know much about Jason Cardy because I'm new again, but I'm letting you all know that I Googled stuff. I know where people live. I know about people. And if anybody gets on Facebook, anybody gets on the public, you're going to know. So why would you elect somebody that is not safe for this committee?
Thank you.
I come from a 35-year abuse relationship, and yet you guys elected somebody as a narcissist. I just don't get it. And I'm worried about my fiance's life. And that's why I joined Fire Please, because I will step in and I will take every single one of you down if something happens to him.
That's right.
Just so you all know. I'm licensed to carry, and I will take every single one of you down.
Thank you.
Well, take it as you want. Take it as you want. But that's my fiance out there protecting people, and these guys don't even freaking care because they're electing somebody. So I'll leave. Yep, that's not a problem. I also got all of your pictures where you guys were informed for 3 out of commissioners on the forum that weren't supposed to be meeting. There's only supposed to be 2 of you. So I got photos. So you want to kick me out? Kick me out. Go for it. I got photos.
All right, honey.
I have photos.
Eric McKinley, 443 High Street. 2 things. I'd first like to submit a written documentation. Last month I brought to question the chain of command, some actions and inappropriate messages that were sent to me through the fire department's Facebook page. I did not receive a response, so I'm going to submit a written letter regarding that response, along with the retaliation on behalf of Commissioner Gaskell, who decided to fire me promptly after that meeting. So I'd like to submit that. I'll bring it up after. There's a copy for every commissioner there. Thank you. In addition to that, I want to take a moment, not just as a member of this department, but as someone who truly cares about the integrity of what we do, to say this from the heart. We chose to serve because we believe in something bigger than ourselves. Our community, our neighbors, the people who count on us in the worst moments. That responsibility should unite us, not divide us. It should humble us, not inflate egos. It should drive every decision we make, not personal agendas, not politics, and certainly not retaliation. I'm not standing here asking for anything radical. I'm simply asking that we all do our jobs the way they're meant to be done. Commissioners should be handling administrative matters, the fire chief should be making operational decisions, and those of us in the department should be able to trust that our leadership is working in our best interest in the community, not playing games behind closed doors. This is not about me. This is about accountability, about ensuring that every member of this department, now and in the future, is treated with fairness and respect. It is about making sure that decisions are made the right way, not based on who wields the most influence in the moment. I'm asking, pleading, for us to take pride in our roles that we have been given, to respect the structure that keeps us effective, and to remember at the end of the day, the only thing that should matter is how well we serve the people who depend on us. Let's do better, let's be better, for the good of the department, for the good of the community, for the good of the mission we all swore to uphold. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, my name is Jennifer Muzio, I live at 9 Manor Terrace. I just want to ask, is Robert's Rules of Order typically how this commission proceeds with its decision-making? So what I noticed.
That's been my understanding.
Okay, so what I noticed at the very beginning, upon the discussion of Resolution 10, the appointment of the Director of Fire Services, is that a person put forward a motion to bring that to a vote. Can't remember if it was seconded or if it wasn't, before Rosemary Logue asked for an amendment. According to Robert's Rules of Orders, an amendment must be voted on before, and then if it's seconded, then it goes to a conversation or discussion. Then the folks vote on the amendment. If it's voted down, then it goes back to the original vote, which is 2025-10. None of that procedure was followed, and in fact, I think it was kind of confusing for Ms. Logue to know if she could proceed with her discussion about her amendment. So I just want to point that out, that there's already been an infraction of the policies that you set out for your decision-making, and there's a lot of documentation about that. So I'm sure there will be complaints about that, if not beyond me, then definitely from me. The other thing I wanted to mention was that it was a very cowardly move not to have public comment before going into your decision making, and certainly before this vote. If the deck was stacked already, whatever, that's the way that really unethical people act, but you should at least have the pretense of hearing from the public. That's the second thing. And the third thing I'll mention is that it seems like a lot of members from the Mount Howley Fire District and, firefighters are here, and I'm guessing based on the energy that a lot of them would like to get up and speak against the appointment of Jason Carty. And I think it's really tragic that you've put someone in leadership that a whole bunch of people in this squad, this team, don't like. I mean, what does that say about his ability to lead this team and the effectiveness of what's moving forward? That's all I want to say. Thank you for your time.
Anything else in that row? Yep. Yeah, you can't see green well.
Michael Rothmel, 33 Union Street. First, I don't think we should criticize the entire fire commission. Only the three people on my right, Ms. Gaskill, Ms. Saucier, and Mr. Brown, who are cowards for going into closed session before having public comment. They think they're smart, they think they're snarky, they're cowards because they're afraid of the public. But I don't think this vote is the end all and be all, because Ms. Gaskill has a conflict of interest because her husband works for the fire department. The case of Skull versus Local Finance Board out of Pemberton, the DCA held and the appellate division affirmed that there was someone on council and her husband worked for the water department and she had input onto the salary of the water superintendent. And the appellate division held that was a conflict of interest. Not only did Ms. Gaskill vote, Ms. Gaskill was on the screening committee, and Ms. Gaskill seconded the motion. So I don't think this is a done deal, because I think this is going to go to the Department of Community Affairs, because it should be void, this vote. And you should actually take a motion to reconsider without Ms. Gaskill participating because of this conflict. It's disgusting that she didn't recuse herself because her husband works for the fire commission, and this Jason Carty is going to be his boss. It's illegal and it's bad. Also, I believe Mr. Raymond is conflicted because his firm, Tom Coleman, is the registered agent for Local Strategies, which is a Mount Holly LLC, with whom the principal is Jason Carty. So there's a conflict there with Mr. Raymond advising the board and to support Mr. Carty. Finally, the law requires that a candidate for fire commission have good moral character. Mr. Carty is a self-admitted domestic abuser who's publicized on Facebook that he is the cause of multiple traumas to his wife. And
Mr. Rothmel.
And that is bad
We're going to
character.
stop with the defamation.
It's not defamation. He said it. I'm going to give it to you.
Well, it's not supposed to, not him.
He said.
It's a quote from him.
It's a quote from him.
That's from him.
I'm deeply sorry for the pain and embarrassment I've caused her and our family. I was the agitator, aggressor, and I alone was the one who was wrong. This is his quote, and I can give it to you guys because it's him. It's not something that's defamation when it's an admission. So if somebody of poor character, that's probably why most of the firemen don't want him and don't like him, and you're really going to have terrible morale here. And finally, I want to applaud Gina Shepard and Rosemary Lowe for being ethical and courageous in taking the actions they've taken tonight. And hopefully, when the actual vote comes around after Department of Community Affairs, the right vote will occur, the legal vote will occur, and Ms. Gaskill will recuse herself. And just so people know that, right, I'm gonna give you the documents, that, I mean, that's not defamation, but it's true. And thank you.
Next row.
Good evening, Gina LaPlaca, 10 Middleton Drive, Lumberton, New Jersey, or as some people may know me in this room as Mrs. Carty. Yes, that's right. The battered woman that everyone is here to come and trash. I just wanted to say thank you to the 3 commissioners over here for doing the right thing and voting for somebody based on his qualifications and not on personal vendettas. As a fellow elected official, I'm also sorry that you have to subject yourself to a meeting where people refuse to maintain basic decorum in class and follow Robert's rules and protocol and let people speak without being heckled. I think it's funny that people in this room claim to be so concerned that my husband is a wife beater. Meanwhile, multiple people have gotten in my face tonight before the meeting even started, telling me that I am not a victim of domestic abuse, that I am an enabler of it, and that I deserve what happened to me. Because I simply was sitting here at a public meeting to support my husband on his potential appointment tonight. That is disgusting. I can assure you, not one person in this room, other than my husband who is here now, gives a shit about my personal safety. They care about making political points because they have personal vendettas against this man. He made a mistake. Believe me, I have been in abusive relations before in my life. Not this one, previous ones. He made a mistake, and his record was expunged. So yes, it is slander and defamation when you call somebody an abuser when their record has been cleared by the courts of New Jersey. There are standards for that, and Mr. Rothmel, as an attorney, just like I am, should know better. All this man has ever done is serve his country and his community. He's literally born a Hold on. I'll wait.
You only have 3 minutes.
Okay, I can help. He's worn the uniform of the United States Army, the United States Coast Guard, the Burlington County Correctional Department, and multiple fire departments in Burlington County and in Mercer County. And if he was such a horrible person, then why in God's name was he just promoted captain of the Ewing Township Fire Department? There is no one who cares more about men and women coming home safely than Jason Carty. He is a dedicated public servant and firefighter, and he brings every call home with him every day. I will wait. This is my time. And if you're gonna interrupt my time, then I get more time.
They're talking, I am.
Mr. Cox told me.
Okay.
But we do need to maintain the decorum in the room. It's a public meeting. We need to be able to hear what the public is saying. The commissioners need to hear. It also is being recorded. There needs to be decorum in the room. If there's not decorum in the room, we will ask you to leave.
And finally, I will say, because you have able counsel, congratulations, Mr. Raymond, on being appointed tonight, that there is nothing illegal about taking action before public comment. I understand that you may have changed your procedure, but again, as an elected official, as a business administrator, as an attorney, there is nothing illegal about what this commission did tonight. You have the absolute right to go to executive session and take votes on things before public comment. That's standard across New Jersey, and I'm sorry if people's feelings are hurt by that, but you didn't do anything wrong. And I'm sure Mr. Raymond will be more than able to adjudicate the other bizarre accusations that were made tonight of conflicts of interest and what have you. I am proud of my husband. He's a good man. He's a great father. He's a great firefighter, and you are lucky to have him. And nobody can talk about my marriage or what I go through besides me. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. LaPlaca, if anyone who has approached you tonight volatily or violently as a member of this district board, I would very much like you to coordinate. I would very much like you to coordinate with a member of the district so that it can be noted and dealt with according to policy. We also have policy and procedure, and everyone who's in this building should feel safe and able to come and have their voice be heard, free from any kind of intimidation. So I would encourage you to please connect with either myself or another member of the board, member of the administrative board, firefighting team to get that information to us.
I'm not a victim of domestic abuse. You don't know anything about me. You don't know anything about me, woman. You know that?
Lee, it's not worth it. You've been harassed enough by these people. I hope you're all proud of yourselves. Hanging up on a woman.
You have no idea what I've been through.
Victim. Wow.
You let her curse. Wow. You're going to allow that. That's okay with you that she goes around cursing at people? That's okay, right?
No, but you can get her face and call say she's not a victim.
That's okay.
It's all funny because it's back.
That's
what everybody's talking about. That's what you want.
There you go. Point of order, or I will close the public session.
You're allowing people to curse in here and other people. That's okay with you?
Well, when
I'm second time, I'm going to pass. A third time, I will have you removed.
And I encourage everyone to please maintain decorum. At the end of the day, we are all neighbors. Your voices need to be heard, and you need to show respect and dignity for each other so that we can hear each of you. Because while you may not have voted for all of us, most of you voted for at least one of us. Do you want to be heard by that one person?
Yes.
Then please be quiet while your friends and neighbors tell us what they're here about. Thank you.
Jim Logan from 10 Brainerd. I'd like to remind the commission and everyone present that the last time that Jason Carty held a position like this, it ended with a $500,000 settlement at the cost of West Hampton Township taxpayers. Is that really what you guys want to risk now again here in Mount Holly? It seems like you've already violated the procedures of this hiring, and it seems like it's going to go to legal action again. Do you guys really want to go down this route?
Mr. Logan, I can't speak to what went on in West Hampton.
But you're aware of it, though, yes?
Again, can I finish?
Go ahead.
That had nothing to do with us. That is a separate township.
But you are aware of it, correct?
Everybody is
Yeah,
aware of it.
we
It
are.
was posted in the paper, and for those of us that can read, of course we are.
And you're willing to risk
But
Mount Holly again?
Let me finish, please.
Go ahead. Oh, the class, yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Do you want to have a back and forth, or do you want your concerns responded to?
Yeah, please, go on.
That has no bearing on what goes on here.
Well, it should.
Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, Sean Kennedy, 302 Garden Street. I'm not a smart man by any means, but I know where there's smoke, there's fire. All right, and I currently have an application in to be part of this team. If this goes through, I'm just pulling the application. I have no interest in aligning myself with the likes of this individual right here. So, or for that matter, the three of you that are right there. The kind of drama that you bring to this table here is ridiculous. And I'm kind of ashamed to actually be part of this town at this point with just the three of you. That's sad, shameful.
Gary Broughts, 536 Garden Street. I actually don't have a personnel related question or comment, so maybe that's welcomed. The question I do have is about if in your official capacities that the board engages any reoccurring professional development relating to your roles as elected officials in a township. I ask this because as a certified public accountant and to keep my license active, I have to complete about 80 hours every 2 years of continuing professional education, otherwise known as CPE credits, which is mandated by my state board to keep my license in effect. I'm sure that there are others in this room that have similar requirements to keep their various professional licenses active. Two of the four areas that these credits are required are legal and regulatory frameworks, and then a minimum of 4 hours per year of ethics and compliance trainings. There's also a really exciting assortment of other accounting topics. Joke, good crowd. The reason that my state board mandates that these two specific areas and then ethics are mandated to be reviewed every single year are because people in my profession deal with sensitive financial information for individuals, families, businesses, charities, local, state, and federal government organizations. The state wants to ensure that when we are working with a client or clients, there is a mutual trust between myself and that client, and that my credentials are valid, I'm up to date on my legal and ethical requirements, changes in the law and procedures necessary to establish that mutual trust, given the sensitivity of what is being discussed between myself and that individual. Now, you as elected members of the public who actually handle our tax revenues and get to decide how they are used, whether it be used for the hiring of staff, procurement of vehicles, facility maintenance like this one here, are in a similar but different position to myself, where establishing public trust is incredibly important, largely because it also involves our finances and taxes. So given the background of why I asked that question in the first place, I want to ask again, if any of you as a commission are engaged in professional development or training, and does this board do that in capacity to help establish public trust and ensure that this board is up to date with current laws, whether they're federal, state, or local, or ethics requirements that may be applicable to your basic functions as a government body? I appreciate your time.
Thank you, Mr. Bratz. I personally sought out some opportunities through the New Jersey League of Municipalities upon being elected to this seat, and I recently attended the seminar for newly elected officials. I did so without submitting for reimbursement and intend to utilize the salary that's afforded me by virtue of this seat, the opportunity to seek other seminars and trainings through the League of Municipalities beyond the continuing education credits that I'm required from my day job to submit to, that I feel bring great benefit to my role here. I don't know what the ethics are of me discussing that portion, so I would be happy to touch base with you after I seek the advice of counsel there. But I absolutely applaud the idea of professional development so that we have a better and clearer understanding of the task that we've been gifted by you.
Thank you.
Next row.
I want to say something. It has nothing to do with this, actually. I was here at the last meeting. Hello, my name is Tom Hickey. I live at the Fort Manor Terrace here in town.
Yes.
I was here at the meeting last month and I asked if you might like my help with the kitchen, if you remember. And also too, there's a kitchen also over at the one on Mill Street too, the firehouse there as well? No? No, is it gone?
Firehouse, that's no longer ours.
No, Mill Street location would be 219 out of the squad. We don't.
Oh, that one. I thought you were talking about.
At any rate, like, my background as a chef for like over 40 years is maybe close to 50 now, I guess. I can be very helpful to you, and but it sounds like you got a few more problems than you need with me. I will add one thing that I sort of think is like I just wonder with all the dissension I feel in here tonight that unless this guy is like Michael Jordan of firefighters, he is somebody else. Thank you so much.
You all left. Uh-oh.
Thank you.
Amber Koper-Voss, 100 Madison Avenue. I know there's not much that I can say that would make any sort of difference, but I would like to just point out that already, before even signing his contract, he's in here engaging in some of the same behavior you all want to throw people out for. okay? So when you are someone in a public service job, as I am, you know, there is what others have referred to as conduct unbecoming, with things such as the Facebook posts and messages and all of that, and that people in these roles should be held to a higher standard than the general public, not allowed to be the floor of standards. And just, I don't know, however this is working for some of you up there, I hope it's worth it when you go home.
Stone Laraway, 114 Branch Street.
Fellow citizens, tonight we're gathered to decide on a new director of fire services. As we consider the candidate, I want to bring to your attention the character of Jason Carty. Jason Carty's actions have raised serious concerns about his fitness for public office. He falsely accused me of being a child groomer on his Facebook group called Mount Holly Politics, using an alias. Not only is the accusation defamatory, but it's also morally reprehensible. What's even more troubling is that Jason Carty has refused to take responsibility for his actions. This lack of accountability is alarming and raises questions about his integrity. As a community, we deserve leaders who uphold the truth, respect their constituents, and act with integrity. Jason Carty's actions have fallen short of these expectations. Despite the red flags, it seems you are still willing to support him. It's crucial to prioritize integrity and accountability in leadership positions, especially in roles like Director of Fire Services, where public trust is essential. I urge you to reconsider and consider Jason Carty's character and behavior when casting, well, you already casted your vote. We need leaders who will uphold the highest standards of integrity and respect. Anything less is unacceptable. And for you three, shame on you. Here is a copy of his comment on Facebook under Mount Holly News. Shame on you.
Hello, Tara Astor, 416 Buttonwood Street. I had missed the last two regular meetings, but I was here in December when Ms. Lowe got sworn in and Ms. Shepherd and Gaskell. Sorry, can you hear? It was brought to my attention, or to the public's attention, that when you have your agenda, that the resolutions are text only. You don't have to answer, and you're not obligated, but do you get the full text of the resolution, like the whole explanation, names, dates, dollars, like the whole thing, or do you only have the title of the resolution?
I have never received the full resolution longer than 12 hours prior to being expected to vote on them.
But you do get the full resolution with the full text and all the explanations?
Immediately prior to most meetings. Today I received them at 1:30 this afternoon. I have a full-time day job, which affords me the ability to leave that location about 5 o'clock, and then about a 20-minute ride home, and then that leftover time in between to prepare and read through the legalese that is the fullness of that resolution. As far as my swearing in, I received those and everything else that went along with that agenda 30 minutes, everything else that went along with that agenda, aside from the budget, 30 minutes prior to the meeting. And having never been seated on a fire commission, having never seen a resolution. And then that's absolutely, I take ownership of never having seen the fullness of them, but not knowing what was on them, that I couldn't have been helped until I was handed an agenda.
Thank you. Anyone else have any comments? getting the information in time for you to understand what you're voting on. Thank you, Ms. Logue. I still have time. I just wanted to also bring up, there was the original agenda that had been uploaded on Monday, and then a new version that was uploaded today. And, you know, I'm disappointed that things were moved around and that the original agenda had the public comment portion first. I know how important it is when you're voting on things, anything for that matter. When you hear from the public, you get information, insight, all kinds of stuff, not just opinions that can really help you decide how you're going to vote. So when you hear that information and those opinions afterwards, it's kind of a moot point and it's disappointing. As far as the appointment, I'm not gonna comment on that, but as far as procedure, I would hope that you would have more time to have the information so that you could make an educated, vote, and maybe even have time to ask questions, because I know that there could be a lot of information that you really need to know what you're voting on before you vote on, no matter what it is. And then as far as Monday's meeting goes, there was definitely some procedural issues that I was concerned with as far as following Robert's rules and Open Public Meeting Act and the Sunshine Law, and just hope that you might try to do a little better. Thank you.
I'm hopeful moving forward with a part-time administrator to lift some of that, to prepare the resolutions on the agenda with ample time ahead of the meetings, that we can hopefully, regardless of who is filling those shoes, in this case, it will, has been voted to be Mr. Carty, that particular piece of this puzzle will be picked up and completed with the confidence of my fellow commissioners to the standard that you would all deserve, so that we will have more fullness of information to be able to deliver to you and more fullness of understanding when we make these votes.
Thank you.
Jeff Eversmeyer, 203 Broad Street. I want to thank the two commissioners on the left for voting their conscience and trying to preserve our.
Can't hear you. Jeff and Mike.
Hello.
There you go.
Jeff Eversmeyer, 203 Broad Street. I want to thank the two commissioners for voting.
To the mic.
Yes.
Stand closer to your face, Jeff.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Commissioners on the left for voting for no against Jason Carty. I reached out to Dave Gazelle, who trained firefighters for 22 years. 22 years. He was the captain in this fire department. And his second in command was George Sanders. They both committed themselves, and they were like a family down here. Everybody treated each other like family. This is the way Jason Carty treats people. They're not like family. And everybody up here, including especially June, is so much about historic preservation. When we ran our campaign against Carty's team, he said, nobody in Mount Holly cares about historic preservation, right? Nobody cares about it. Well, that was a big issue in the election, and he almost lost that election. So it's really frustrating. And then actually, Dave Gazelle gave me some names of people to call that have been around for years. And I actually called one of them, and he had applied for a position. Nobody ever got back to him. He was well qualified because he worked here for years, for free, for free. He even called the attorney, the prior attorney. I guess you're not guilty of that because you didn't know about it. He called and asked him, did you get it? And she said, yeah, we got it. But it was ignored. Here's a qualified person who served our community for years, was a pillar of the community, and we didn't even call him back. Well, we go down this dark road, Jason Carty, and maybe he'll be a great leader. But I called West Hampton, and they had the people that were there, some of them had been forced out when Jason Carty got in. Well, they were outcasts once he got in there. So they left, and they went somewhere else. So I know our firefighters, you guys love our firefighters, they worked for us for years. They couldn't even get a key to the firehouse. You guys wouldn't give the firemen, after 30 years, the key to the firehouse because you didn't know when you were going to open it? You didn't have enough foresight. Somebody's stalling it. I don't know if it's Josh or who it is. Somebody's stalling it, so they couldn't even get a key to get in the firehouse. Then some of their keys are turned off. They're complaining to me. I don't know anything about firemen. And you three stand up there and vote your way you vote. That's fine. You got to hold your heads in town because everybody knows how you voted. So this is really frustrating.
And even, it's amazing that you would take a firefighter who's given 20 years or 30 years of service to this town and not even call him back.
What was his name?
Scott Mitchell. Or George, no, I'm sorry. Scott Mitchell was running. I met him tonight. George Saunders. Yeah. So anyway, I got to meet Scott Mitchell tonight. He's over in Vincenttown. He's doing a great job. He's got new recruits. He's working the equipment. He told me his guys would die to use the equipment that's in here. They volunteer to come here and use our fire trucks and help us fight fires. Not anymore. You guys are, I guess you guys just don't care about your firemen. You just don't care. None of you guys care about any of
Your
the
time
firemen.
is up. Thank you so much for your
Thank you much.
comments.
I thank you for giving my 3 minutes.
Happy Wednesday, everybody. Can you hear me? Maureen Taylor Ford, 117 Branch Street. I also attended New Jersey League of Municipalities, second year with my husband, and as I was informed by the lawyer there, again, people such as myself are called physically engaged active citizens. Now, my husband and I were military. My husband is retired. I did 17 years in Afghanistan. So my concern as a citizen, I'm walking into all of this. I don't know Jason Carty, as his wife stated. I don't know her either. Don't care to know either one of them either, because they have no relevance to me as a person. They're not my neighbor, okay? But my concern is, because I lived here for 18 years, it seems that a lot of our neighbors hate each other, okay? When I see our sweet township manager in town, he walks away. So either everyone that has a high level of functioning ADD that's elected in this township, because you don't have communication skills. That's the first thing. I have pictures of some of y'all kids in my phone that I carry in my phone. So when I'm listening to all this hate and going on, I go to the RV board meeting, I listen to more stuff. All I'm hearing is a lot of stuff. Put yourself in my shoes. I didn't grow up in this town. I'm thrust into this. I love this town. Who on this board here is military? Who on this board has done anything for this community besides sit behind a desk? Who has done anything? Is anyone out there in the street doing anything? At the meeting on Monday, I heard 5 different volunteer firefighters say they are walking away. So if this is where we're at in this town that we all love, that most of you guys grew up in, that you call home, that I call home now. I got a plot in Mount Holly Cemetery. You guys got one? I got one. The guy's name is Jimmy Jones, not the recreation director, the other guy. So my question again is, when you were faced with firefighters walking, volunteer, because I don't think they're getting paid. These are volunteer people coming from, I heard Hainesport, I heard Marlton. These are volunteers, so I'm assuming you already got a lineup, or Mr. Carty has a lineup of people he's gonna swoon in there with his volunteers. I don't know him, don't care to know him, okay? And I do know one thing, I better not get a code enforcement, because the last time I came here, some people gave me a code enforcement. So if that's what you're showing here between the township and the councils and the fire commission, when you speak up, I get a code enforcement, because I can guarantee all of y'all, when you're all slobbered at night, I'm out there in the street stalking around, because that's what Afghanistan did to me, made me an insomniac. So again, as a concerned citizen, I'm gonna put this out again. There is a recall election, okay? 3 people up there can be recalled. 3 people, as of right now. 2 more people can be recalled in the next year. So, you guys can do what you feel. If you think you're serving the community, or you're serving yourself, or you're serving whatever your issues is, I don't know. But what I would like to know is, I'd like to read this, because it's gross misconduct. Neighbors who hate each other refers to a situation when 2 or more people living near one another have developed strong negative feelings towards each other, often leading to ongoing conflict, hostility, and lack of communication. Stemming from disagreements over property, noise, politics, and personal. So again, you're gonna do what you're gonna do. You're wasting my time, you're wasting your time. Okay, I gotta drag my nieces, my great nieces and nephews here, and you're still gonna vote how you wanna vote regardless. So, do what you will, but again, believe me, recall Stan, and I got all you guys as kids in my phone, no hard feelings when you're walking by me on High Street, no hard feelings, okay? But also remember, these are volunteers, and none of you have done a damn thing besides sit behind a desk, okay? Nobody. Tell me who has been in that street, okay? Not only was I in the military, but I'm also naval security. Who else has done that besides sit behind a desk? And then you're willing to let volunteers just walk away. So congratulations to the town we all love.
Thank you, Ms. Ford.
Thank you, Nicole.
I wasn't gonna do it. I wasn't gonna do this, but it didn't seem fair. I'm 25 Broad Street, Sake Riley. I'm gonna forget this later. What happened to the last attorney? She quit? She get fired? She resigned. Did she ask you guys to interview? This is what I heard. Did she ask you guys to interview all 20 people that applied?
I'm not privy to answer that question.
So that's a yes. All right.
Settle down, settle down.
So that's a yes. All right, so you replaced her with another attorney, and I'm up here because I spent a lot of money talking to you on the internet. Good to see you again. Look a lot better in person than on the internet. All right, so you hired another person. All right, I get it. Now it makes sense. You guys don't be mad at me. I like Jason. He used to be a friend of mine. He might not like me anymore, but I like him. And everyone's talking things about him. I want someone to come up and say something good about the guy. All right. So, yes, I consider him a friend still. I'm worried, though, that he might not be Michael Jordan of fire, but he's Michael Jordan to get himself enemies, which I hope you guys aren't setting him up for a fall. Because I do know that, and I think you guys know, but it was less than 6 months ago, he was in an argument or saying disparaging remarks to your chief of the firehouse. Is that correct? Right. So, it's on the record. So, I don't get it. Are you trying to set him up for a fall? You're gonna hire a guy that already has beef with at least, 2 people? So he comes in and you're creating what's called a hostile workspace. I don't know if that's legal or not. It doesn't seem like it makes any sense. Are you trying to cause an issue? I don't know. But I like him and I don't want to see anything bad happen to him. So if he actually does get in, I hope you guys work it all out. And I hope you guys sleep well and veteran maintain. Good to see you.
Good evening. Anthony Diamante, 49 Joseph Place.
Mike, please.
Sorry. Anthony Diamante, 49 Joseph Place. I want to speak to the board, and if this doesn't apply to you, take it with a grain of salt. But I joined the Mount Holly Township Fire Department in 2023. I was brought on in about June. When I was brought on, I was not provided SOPs. I brought it to our board's attention at multiple meetings throughout the year. It is 2025. I still have not got a copy of our SOPs, policies, guidelines, or any bylaws or documentation from this board. I have asked for it repeatedly. I have a right for a safe work environment. That is part of that right. Now, moving on from that, I don't know Jason Carden. I will not speak on his character. I will not speak on him. But I will tell you, there are multiple firefighters who do not feel safe working under his tutelage. He will be the director of fire services. He has shown that he is actively hostile towards several firefighters, not all of them, but you're creating a hostile work environment. You're creating an unsafe work environment. You're acting with gross negligence. You know what you are doing. And moreover, we are volunteers. And you are making choices that are actively running your volunteers out of town. And I live in this town. And I will tell you, I will vote no to every proposal to make this department paid. And that is what you are trying to do. And it is disgusting that you are running your volunteers out so you can bring in a paid crew. Thank you.
Robert Allen, 704 Bloomfield Drive. I'm told I'm not allowed to speak on anything besides a couple things. One is, you guys work for us. I just want to tell you that again. We appointed you. So, the other thing is, we appoint committees, right? You have Buildings and Grounds, which is in charge of Buildings and Grounds. Why is there a certain individual shutting people's keys off? Can you answer that, Nicole?
I can answer that, because it's the commissioner's office and it's not necessary.
So why does a non-officer have privilege to be in there?
Which non-officer are you referencing?
You know, Nicole, don't play with me.
I don't think you need to name that individual. We could actually demonstrate that after the meeting if it's found to be accurate. What would the answer be if you're willing to answer it?
I'm sorry, say that again?
So there's an allegation that a non-officer can enter our shared office. If that can be demonstrated after the meeting, is there an answer for that? As a commissioner, I would like an answer to that.
You know, we were all given access for a purpose. And because I'm associated with Tommy, I'm being targeted, and it's gonna stop, or there's gonna be a problem.
Thank you for your comment,
Mr. Allen, you said you're not permitted to discuss much of anything except for a couple of things. Can you expand on that for me as a commissioner so I have an understanding?
No, I was advised by,
Were you provided a policy tonight that you had never been privy to before?
no, my wife just told me not to get in trouble, so I'm
So you were given the ultimate authority gave you direction. Outstanding.
That's really all I got.
Thank
Just
you.
remember, you guys work for us. And
My
you
favorite
taken
answer
out
of life.
as well as you got put in.
You mean?
My name is James York. My fiance spoke earlier. I have 37 years in the fire service. 34 of them are in this building. Hate to tell you, probably my last night you ever see me.
Terrible. That's the whole point.
Hello, my name is, you get on the mic. My name is Nick Fisher, 436 Newcomb Drive. I don't envy your job. I'm sure it's, difficult at times, but there's a consistent theme tonight, and it seems that there's a lot of people don't want Mr. Carty appointed. I don't know Mr. Carty, I never met him. So it would be really wrong for me to say anything bad about him. But I also haven't really heard much good about him tonight. So if he is appointed, he's going to have an uphill battle. And I would suggest that, he really gets in front of everybody. And I mean, if I was constantly getting, everyone going against me, I'd be standing up here and saying, that's not me, or this or that. So, just my comment, and, it's pretty consistent. I haven't seen many people in support of them. So, thank you all. Take care.
Good evening. Casey Carty, 119 Mill Street. I don't even know what to say, honestly. First, I want to say, Rosemary and Gina, thank you so much. Ms. Gaskell, I don't know you, but I did vote for you. I'm kind of concerned about that now. Nicole and Josh, I'm not surprised. But I'm gonna tell you, tonight is a defining moment. Not just for this fire department, but for our entire community. The decision to appoint Jason Carty or hire Jason Carty as a fire director is a huge mistake that will have lasting and dangerous consequences. and you know that. The warnings, the history, these firefighters, they're telling you. And Tom, I feel horrible for you. We were all here and watched and heard how he disrespected the current fire chief. And nobody cares about that. Nobody cares. Listen, I've been in leadership for 30 years, and I have had employees come before me with masters and doctorates that would have been amazing. Now, I don't deny the guy has been a firefighter for many, many years, but everywhere, whenever you see destruction and chaos, you will find Jason Carty. And you have all of these folks here, these firefighters that are volunteers, and they're telling you, we can't have this. These are folks that I have to rely on to come to my house. I have a 21-year-old autistic child. Jason Carty doesn't care for me at all. So now that is at risk. Because we all know, for him, he's gonna get you back. He's watching who's up here and speaking against him. Okay? So I now have to rely on him to save my child's life. This is a disgrace. And we're talking about history? I understand you want to hire him because of the history. No, this is not about history. This is about all these firefighters here walking out and putting the community at risk. And it's on your shoulders. So you remember this moment, because we're all going to suffer, because the consequences are now all on us because of what your decision making was tonight. And I hope you're okay with that. Tom, I appreciate you, and I hope that you stay. And I can imagine what you're feeling right now, but the rest of this community here supports you. Thank you.
Anyone else?
Tim Young, 533 Garden Street. I do intend on using the full 3 minutes that I'm allotted today. I've set my own stopwatch here. And I would ask the people behind me to bear with me while I exercise my freedom of speech and my freedom of expression.
sat in silence for 2 minutes and 45 seconds so far. And the reason we did that is because you wouldn't have listened to a damn thing that I had to say anyway. Thank you.
Point well made, Mr. Young. Thank you.
Good evening, Commissioners. My name is Karen Vicky. I'm a firefighter EMT. I live in Mount Holly, 95th Street. I'm here today to speak on behalf of my fellow firefighters and me as an EMT here. I do not know Jason Carty as much as I do, but here, I want us to be able to come out and respond to these calls. Yes, I understand we have a mutual aid agreement within the town, but we're trying our hardest. We are volunteers here. We work hard. We try our hardest. We work full-time jobs. I work 3 jobs here and I still volunteer. I'm a full-time EMT and I still volunteer. I work in town. I see my men and women here on this, pardon my French, this damn fire department. Chief Mason has worked his butt off for this department as our fire marshal, doing fire inspections and being out for his community. And while working a full-time job, I understand, yes. Jason Carty, I don't know you as well, but I do respect, I hope when you come in, you listen to us as your new team. But sir, if you don't, you will lose us. I do not want a paid department. And I do not mean that with disrespect. I say that with cold heart, because I care. To the commissioners, I understand you had multiple applicants, but did you look at all of them, all their services? I know a couple of y'all don't understand our job. We do this because we care about our town. Half of us have families who have been in the service. My father, for example, he was a fireman in Browns Mills back in the 70s. He stopped because he didn't like how the chief was running there. I want him to come back to it, but he won't because of the politics. You guys dragging politics to everything. It's a toxic work environment. I don't like to say that, but it just hurts us. Chief Mason, to everybody, I say thank you, sir, for the outstanding job you have done for us. And to the commissioners, I understand you care about our town, but do you guys really? When's the last time you came down to the firehouse? Commissioner Cole, I know you come down here, you're here 24/7. I feel like you live here. The other commissioners, I understand, Mr. Brown, you are one of our town administrators. But when's the last time you came down and sat with us and talked to us? Other than our fire scenes, when you need to come out. To the other commissioners, I understand, yes, you guys have lives. Yes, Rosemary, you work a full-time job, I do understand that, trust me. But I feel like on your days off, come down, see us, talk to us, have a conversation. We are humans. We work. We don't sleep. Trust me, I was hospitalized after a fire. I didn't get home until that motor vehicle accident. That motor vehicle accident on 38. I didn't come home until 4 a.m. and I had to work the next day. Did anyone ask me, Mickey, are you okay from the commissioners? No. Because it hurts us. We see that stuff. You guys don't. We all battle with PTSD and all this other traumas. It hurts us. And the commissioners are not here to decompress with us. Yes, I understand it's the chief's job to actually activate that decompressing. But the commissioners, you're the ones who give us that ability to decompress. Allow us to vent. Half of my firefighters here, they work their butts off. Eric, for example, he's the guy. He's an airman. And he works his butt off for us. Yes, we all are a pain in the butt to each other. And I care about our town. I do not want anybody taking over our town or making it paid. I want us to be able to provide fire and EMS capable firefighters here. As me, I am a firefighter EMT. I provide that EMS service when I can on this fire truck. We need the equipment, we need everything. We need the commissioners to step up and work with us. And I hate repeating myself, but it hurts. And I don't understand. Mr. Carty, I do apologize if I did sound like a butt, but I do wish you the best. And I do wish no foul harm to anybody here. To my other firefighters, do not turn in your cards. I understand you don't want to work under a man who we don't know his history, but I don't know his history, but everyone else does who has been here. But please, keep out responding. Let's get our engine out and let's try. And I know we won't, because our fine commissioners have worked our asses off, but don't care. I wish y'all the best.
Hey, Cam.
Thank you, Cameron.
Hi, first of all, thank you for your service and your dedication.
Thank you, ma'am.
I want to assure you that I share your concern about not having an opportunity to meet many of you. Although I have had an opportunity to meet several of you. I have a gentleman back there who was talking to me about the pumper truck and how it should be easy for everyone to be able to operate it. And I have attempted to coordinate with Chief, I know he's been working on it for me, to get an opportunity to come down and have you guys walk me through the equipment that you use so that I can have a basic understanding of the tools that you use to serve our community. I've also invited the members of your leadership team, your officers, to sit and have a meeting so that I can sort of understand what they're doing with regard to Chief's 5-year plan that I'm very excited about. It was one of the things that excited me about the possibility of this campaign to begin with, right? I loved hearing from the gentleman about the possibility of reopening the kitchen and making this space more of a family space. I've coordinated with several of your firefighters on the special events that you run. So while you may not have seen my face directly, and for that you're absolutely right, I will be holding you accountable. I will come hang out with you anytime you're here. In fact, get my number before you leave.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so that the next duty crew night that you're here, I can come down. Maybe we'll have a Coke. You can tell me all about it. I'm all ears. In the evenings, I am free, but I don't know when everyone's going to be around. And there have been a multitude of times when I've walked into this building in the evenings, and no one is here. So, in fairness to you, and absolute deference and respect, I welcome the opportunity to know you better. Thank you for keeping my community, my home, and my property, the people that I love, safe.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thomas Roslin from 97 Mill Street. I've been a firefighter for 43 years. I fought fire with Ikey Bozart, which is Jason's grandfather. He was one of the good chiefs. Man standing right back there with glasses on, he was another good chief. We need to do something about getting guys down here during the day, because I'm tired of doing it by myself.
Thank you, Rosalyn. Anyone else?
Jim Logue, 322 Washington Street. I'm dismayed by the action of the three noble cowards on the right who don't have the integrity, ethics, or morals to stand up and listen to the public before they vote. Make no mistake, this was a blatant, cowardly, petty political move because there's several items under the resolutions after the public comment. You specifically moved this so you could not face the scrutiny of the public. Your judgment is in serious question. Ms. Gaskell in front of me told me she was gonna vote for Jason Carney no matter what and not accept anybody else at all, and she would defer everything to him this past summer. So her ethics need to be questioned. Ms. Salce at the Spellbound Century race this last summer said she was scared of him. She would do whatever he wants, any of his bidding, to not get on his bad side. Her ethics, morals, and judgment has been compromised, and she should not have took a vote on any of this. You know, I question many of her judgments. Why did she raise the salary of the commissioners? Is that to get a little bit more money because the court garnished her salary as a fire commissioner? You know, if your judgment's so bad that the court is garnishing your fire commission salary, how can we trust your judgment on anything else?
Evening, people who have come. I'm very proud of them. The Mount Holly people have come, the fire department. Sure. My name is David Villalba, 166 from Concord Grove. I'm very proud of the people who have come. I'm proud of the people, I don't know why. I give you accolades for speaking up for everyone. And the other commissioners, why they're not speaking, I don't know. The two on the left, great. Three on the right, question. From what I heard today, it's very sad. You have a lot of passion, a lot of spirit, and you're not listening. It's a heart. My heart is hurting right now because of what's happening. And as they mentioned, I didn't know that they said something bad to the fire commissioner. How dare he? And you're going to still put him in? Why? And you have 90% of the fire people who don't want him here? Why? Again, if your choices are that limited, expand. But I don't think they're that limited. I think you have enough people, enough applications that you could have gone through. I'm almost ready to cry here because I feel the stress, I feel the anger, the passion that why you're not listening to the people who are standing here telling you what they want. These are the citizens of Mount Holly. These are the people of your community. You know, are you going to be held responsible? You three, are you going to be held responsible if they leave, if the firemen leave? Yes? Are you accountable? Because I have you on camera, witness here. Are you going to be accountable if people start leaving or things start going wrong? The three on the board. Can you answer that, please? The three on the right, can you answer that, please? Are you going to be held accountable for voting yes? No answer? So you're not going to be held accountable? Yes, you are going to be held accountable. You have to be held accountable. If the fire chief decides to leave because more hostility goes on, you've got to be held accountable. If the fire people leave, you have to be held accountable. That's not fair that you vote and you don't listen to the people. You go upstairs and you have your little meetings. No, transparency. That's what we need. Oprah requests, freedom of information. We need to look at what's going on behind this. And I will request them and I will look into them. I will find a way to find out what's going on with everything. Thank you. And I thank the public for coming today. And I'm proud of them. I am so proud of them.
Anyone else?
Jason Carty, 10 Middleton Drive, Lebanon. I want to thank the board for their confidence in me. Look forward to working for all five of you and with all five of you, regardless of how you voted. I want to thank firefighter Cameron in the back who spoke. He said something very important, that he's going to be here and volunteer and keep the politics out of it. Several years ago when I served on this board as a commissioner, we consolidated 3 firehouses down to 1, and there was many members that said, we're going to quit because you're closing our firehouse. At the end of the day, the ones that cared about the community and wanted to serve continued to do so. Many of them joined different companies, many stayed members of their old companies, but the point is they continued to serve this community. And I want to thank the 3 or 4 firefighters in the back that came up and shook my hand and congratulated me and said they're looking forward to see changes around here. So thank you for those. Some of them are afraid to talk because of the hostile environment here. And last but not least, I just want to address that the people that came to my wife earlier and got in her face and harassed her and heckled her and said disgusting things to her should be ashamed of themselves. The very reasons they're here to try to say that they're here to defend freedom and all these things, and they turn around and are hypocrites and would treat a woman like that. She ran for her life on September 11th from the building when it collapsed. Ran for her life, was knocked down in dust cloud, spent a day in the hospital. And after that, she was in an abusive relationship for 9-10 months after that. What happened at my house in 2023 is my business, between me and my wife. Mr. Rothmel likes to slander and use words, and he's an attorney and should know better. He should use the whole quote that I said, that yes, I was responsible. I was intoxicated, I messed up on my medication, and we had it. That's funny to you? I'll wait. The police were coming, we got in an argument. She's an elected official, they gotta make sure they do everything by the book. People were charged, everything was dismissed. I've never assaulted my wife, I never put my hands on her, I'm not an abuser. Mr. Rothmel, as an attorney, should know better. He keeps slandering me, he will get himself in some hot water if he continues to do so. By the way, you left all your signs outside, Mr. Rothmel. So shame on you for treating my wife like that, and you expect people to respect you when you can't even respect them. Shame on you. Thank you.
Mr. Cardy, I'm just curious, you commented on Facebook a few days ago that you had seen an RFP for an attorney advertised. I'm just wondering, where did you see that? Because I was not privy to any RFP that was publicly posted.
I'm not going to sit here and debate Facebook, what people say on Facebook, what Mr. Sam said to me, I said back to him. We get in a lot of Facebook arguments. What I said was that you guys use the same process you always use for the institution. You asked me a question. Can I speak?
My apologies.
Can I speak? Can I speak? You asked me a question, I'm answering.
Mr. Cardy is absolutely correct. We'll call for order. I interrupted him after I asked him a question. We will keep civility in this room, all of us.
Thank you. When I say back and forth to Mr. Sams, we get carried away sometimes, whatever, but all I said to him, and we were having a sidebar at the same time, that this district, since its inception, I want to say in 1991, used the same process for appointing attorneys. You guys have the right to put out RFPs or not put out RFPs. That is your business. I don't know what you guys currently did for the current selection of the attorney. I'm not privy to any of that. But what I said was, you can use an RFP, you don't. You're not required to. So I hope that answers your question.
And as I said to your wife, no one in this building should ever feel unsafe. And I do sincerely hope that you coordinate with her and the rest of our administrators and our attorney to get those names. Because if they were an active member of this firehouse or this fire company, I would like for them to be held accountable according to policy.
To my knowledge, for the record, no member of this fire district or this board got in her face or harassed her or heckled her.
I'm delighted to hear that. I'm ashamed of any member of the community who treats
several of
their
them.
neighbors.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay, but they have to look at themselves in the mirror at the end of the night. I think large of this community has comported itself quite well during these proceedings, and I agree that, like I said, we absolutely need to hold each other accountable, and if a member of this district has mistreated your wife, we should make sure that we handle that according to policy and procedure. As for everyone else, you are invited into this building as a member of the community. We would expect you to hold yourself to the same standard you expect us to be held to. Thank you very kindly for sharing your words.
I agree with your statement. Everyone should be held to that standard. The three individuals know who they are. They also, most of them got up and talked and speak about unity and all that stuff, and they're hypocrites, so thank you.
Any more comments?
I'll try. It's a long one.
Hello? Hello, my name is Christopher James Leisure. I'm at 48 Church Street in Mount Holly, New Jersey. And one thing I would like to bring up for public notice, that there is a firefighter code of ethics that is brought together by FEMA. It is supposed to dictate, it's supposed to help out fire meetings, commission meetings, general meetings on how we're supposed to act and how it's supposed to be. So I'm just gonna, after everything today, I'm just gonna read based on the firefighter code of ethics that FEMA does recommend and pursue. Firefighter code of ethics. I understand that I have a responsibility to conduct myself in a manner that reflects proper ethical behavior and integrity. In doing so, I will help foster a continuing positive public perception of the fire service. Therefore, I pledge the following. Always conduct myself on and off duty in a manner that reflects positively on myself, my department, and the fire service in general. Accept responsibility for my actions and for the consequences of my actions. Support the concept of fairness and the value of diverse thoughts and opinions. Avoid situations that would adversely affect the credibility or public perception of the fire service profession. Be truthful and honest at all times, and report instances of cheating or other dishonest acts that compromise the integrity of the fire service. Conduct my personal affairs in a manner that does not improperly influence the performance of my duties or bring discredit to my organization. Be respectful and conscious of each member's safety and welfare. Recognize that I serve in a position of public trust that requires stewardship in the honest and efficient use of publicly owned resources, including uniforms, facilities, vehicles, and equipment, and that these are protected from the misuse and theft. Exercise professionalism, competence, respect, and loyalty in the performance of my duties, and use information, confidential or otherwise, gained by virtue of my position only to benefit those I am entrusted to serve. Avoid financial investments, outside employment, outside business interests, or activities that conflict with or are enhanced by my official position or have the potential to create perception of impropriety. Never propose or accept personal rewards, special privileges, benefits, advancement, honors, or gifts that may create a conflict of interest or the appearance thereof. Never engage in activities involving alcohol or other substance use or abuse that can impair my mental state or the performance of my duties and compromise safety. Never discriminate on the basis of race, religion, color, creed, age, marital status, national origins, ancestry, gender, sexual preference, medical condition, or handicap. Never harass, intimidate, or threaten fellow members of the service or the public, and stop or report the actions of other firefighters who engage in such behaviors. Responsibly use social networking, electronic communication, or other media technology opportunities in a manner that does not discredit, dishonor, or embarrass my organization, the fire service, and the public. I also understand that failure to resolve or report inappropriate use of this media equates to condoning this behavior, developed by the National Society of Executive Fire Officers and supported by FEMA. That is all I really have to say in regards to this. In other regards, we've had issues on Church Street. I want to know what's going on as far as honestly, people getting mugged on my street that I have video camera footage of. If we're ever going to get cameras that can look down Church as well as up and down Pine, if not to support our police department in apprehending these individuals. And the last thing I have to ask is, and this is bringing up to Anthony, that brought this up to attention, I too have been asking for SOPs, rules, regulations, other things since I've joined. I've talked to Chief, and Chief says he's trying to work on them, which is good. He's doing a good job there. But I understand Gaskell and Saucier, you are the people of policies for the Fire Commission. And I understand this firehouse has at least been operating with bylaws prior, just trying to figure out where they go. So, I mean, I've only been here maybe 3 years, 2-3 years. I've lived in Mount Holly for 7 years. This is something that is actually important. So, that's all I have to bring to your attention, and that's all. Thank you.
Hey, Mr. Ledger, I just wanted to actually publicly thank you. When I came to one of my first fire commissioner meetings and made my intention to run known, you and several of your colleagues were very helpful with online resources about what does it mean to be a fire commissioner. That was actually, these meetings were prior to me deciding to be asked to be on the ballot. You pointed me to a fire commissioner's handbook that had been a labor of love cobbled together by individuals with decades of experience. And I downloaded that document, and I have it. And I printed it out, and I went through with a fine-tooth comb, and much of it no longer covers the way that this particular district operates. But I was able to get a foundational understanding, and I reached out to the chair prior to my election, and I had asked, does Mount Holly have anything of that nature? The night I was elected, I was given the Mount Holly Fire Commissioner's Handbook, which I have diligently studied. And I have used that same resource that you provided me to explore other things. So, and that was largely based on you and several of your colleagues having expressed to me a desire for SOPs that you had neither seen nor heard tell of. It's an issue that's close to my heart. I work on it very closely with the work that I do. So I was excited to see that being built out here. But I share your frustration in the fact that I've not been able to see anything that predated my election that reflects that. So I do hope that the committee will work together with you to get the existing policy, and I hope that they're excited to work together with collaboration of the new administrative and operations team to get you what you need to be successful in the fulfillment of your duties.
Hi, thank you. And that said, would it be possible to also put that public on our website? So if we ever need to look up a link, or if I have some people that want to join, I can just point them to the link like, hey, this is how our fire department's run?
I think that would be an excellent question for them, and that would be worth following up with. I'm at a little loss as to who to direct you to, whether it would be the committee directly or chief through chain of command, but I'm sure that they can help you out with that.
Yes.
Yep, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Hi, Courtney, 212 Burns Road, West Hampton. Courtney, 212 Burns Road, West Hampton. I'm not gonna reiterate what my crew has already pretty much said, but I do wanna come up and just say thank you to the chief. Thank you for what you've done for at least the time that I've been here, and that I stand with my guys. I don't really have a stake in this claim too much, but I just wanna say that I stand with the chief and my guys, and just hope that moving forward, we all create an environment where we feel like we are being protected and that we feel heard. That's it.
Is that it? Closing public session. We're moving on to the next agenda item.
I didn't use my 3 minutes.
Moving on to reports from fire personnel, chief's report and fire officials report, and chief apparatus report.
First and foremost, I want to say thank you. I work for you. I'm not going to be forced out. I'm not going to be forced out. I don't need a microphone. I can talk loud. But I'm going to stay and I'm going to fight. The board put me here. I hope I'm doing a good job, and I hope they see that. And I hope that the board sees that. And I'm still going to continue to work with the board regardless of the differences we have. My opinions on certain things are my opinions. Mr. Carty got elected as the director. If he's willing to work with me and see this 5-year plan through, then I'm all for it. Let's do it. Let's make it a better place. If he's not and I'm forced out at the end of the day, then so be it. There's a job to be done, and I'm going to continue to do it when I leave here tonight. So with that being said, my guys are going to stay with me. If I'm going, you're going. Simple as that. There is no bottom line. If we're going to make it better, we're going to do it together. Because there's no place in this fire department for hate and politics. So with that being said, the monthly report from the fire chief. Total fire calls for the month of February was 61. Total in-town general calls, which is a structure fire or a potential structure fire, was 4. We had a total of 4 out-of-town general calls, same thing for a structure fire. We had a total of 28 assist EMS calls to help the squad on a various amount of calls and different things that they go through. We had 31 other calls, which go from alarm systems to wires calls to brush fires and things of that nature. The man hours for the month was 84 man hours. That's how much man hours that the men and women of this department put in for the month. With working with the finance committee off of the end of last year's budget, we were able to purchase some things, and I want to say thank you to them. So with that, we purchased some new parts for the fans that were broken, and we got them back in service. The first 5 sets of turnout gear that we needed that we haven't bought in the last 10 years arrived and was put into service with the 5 individuals that received them. We are still waiting on the last 3 sets to be delivered. They're due in March. I spoke to the vendor. We've been getting little pieces in at a time. That will bring our total up to 7 sets. And then hopefully, moving forward, we can start to budget for some more later down the road there. The fire department participated in the St. Patrick's Day Parade. It was a great event. Everybody had a great time. I thank the board for allowing the members' wives and family to ride on the trucks. I know it meant a lot to them. And thank you to the guys and women that came out. And hopefully the town had a good time as well. So that's the fire chief's report. The monthly fire report, or I'm sorry, let me go back to the fire chief's report. Also, with that being said, all the testing for the fire extinguisher suppression systems are done. The sprinkler system was tested. We're having an issue with the alarm. I'll be reaching out to T-Stone to have that fixed. In lieu of not having a director, I want everybody to know that I've kind of assumed some of those roles on behalf of being asked by the board to take care of some of these things that they may not be up to snuff with that are technical things to handle. So that's what I've been doing. So we're pretty much up to date. I just have to work with Keystone on the final last part. We're good there. Moving forward to the fire officials report. With the fire officials report, I am not the greatest, I'll admit that. But I went to school just like everybody else. I took the same test that everybody else took. I treat every one of you and your businesses and everybody in this town the same. There is no favoritism. Mr. Brown can contest that I wrote the township 9 violations. I don't play that game. I have a license, I sworn to a duty, and that's what I'm going to do. If anybody has any questions, concerns, feel free to come to my office. It's located on the 2nd floor down the end. The door's always open when I'm here. If you see the pickup that's outside, I'm here. Okay? Total inspections for the month were 29. Life hazard uses were 2, and there was 2 local inspections. Total re-inspections were 6. I'm sorry, local inspections were 21, total re-inspections were 6. Total resale inspections were 5. There was 7 fire permits issued for the month, and there was 2 fire investigations done. We had one at the Old Clover Hill, and we had one over here on 46 White Street that our office conducted those investigations. If anybody has anything that they would like, any concerns, please address them to me. My email's on the website. Feel free to send it to me, and I have no problem addressing your concerns if I can. Thank you.
Moving on to committee reports, building and grounds.
Me and Commissioner Logue are building and grounds. I've been working with Ogren to work towards making sure the repairs that need to be done to finalize this building are getting done. Our contact is working diligently. They've been able to teach me how to use the oven in the kitchen. So I look forward to working with the